Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we are currently doing this mission that was supposed to be a quick in and out mission, but a third lance is about to drop in over here. So let's proceed forward. I am still slightly feverish at this point, so currently rocking that 101 degree fever. So we'll see how this ends up going. We'll just pot shot this PPC out over here, I think. Yeah, we'll otherwise sink heat. I don't expect this to hit. And yeah, it doesn't. So that's not shocking. This fire starter is just running away at this point, and we're chasing it a bit. But we'll see what ends up happening with this drop zone over here. So this avatar is moving up and going for that downed Owens. It should be able to kill that Owens pretty easily there. And yes, there it goes. I think. Is it dead? No, it's just very, very close at this point. So the Apollo moves up. It does not fire on the Owens. Our Apollo should really start heading out over this direction. We can get LOS on that Owens from here. So we could go for the kill on it, or we could lob some missiles out at that fire starter, but it's really not worth it. So let's just shoot at this Owens and see what we get done here. There we go. -1 Owens. Phenomenal. So all that's left over here is the fire starter and whatever is in that additional lance. So the crossbow is going to move up over this way. And we can lob missiles out at this fire starter if we wanted to, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to brace here for now.
Commander.
At this point, our hoplite pilot is bleeding out from the knockover. That's unfortunate. We're just going to brace here, and we'll keep an eye on that bleed out. We don't want Brick to die. So we'll see how that ends up going. Phase 13 is going to be this fire starter moving. We'll see what it decides to do. If it just continues to run away out over here, it's going to run out of space eventually. Okay. So it fires on the Centaur and gets very little done there.
Was sloppy, lad.
Next up is going to be our Trebuchet. And the Trebuchet is going to position about here. We'll check in on our hit odds on that fire starter. Very, very low, so I'm just going to brace. And we'll see what's in this additional lance. So our Shadowhawk is going to start heading out this direction. We can sink heat here, and that's a good idea. We have no idea what's going to be in that lance, right? So we'll just position the Black Knight up here and brace. And let's see what we've got. Another hostile lance on the field, indeed. Okay, so what do they got? We see a marksman. Oh, wow. This is a Zeppelin. Okay. That's exciting. There's also a marksman self-propelled gun there. I've never seen a Zeppelin before. It's got 1,000 armor. Okay. Noted. So we'll see what they decide to do. They've got this Shiv pulse laser. It just didn't move. So that should be a really easy target for us to shoot down at this point. That should be incredibly easy. This avatar moves up and fires at that Shiv, which is the right choice. Okay. What else is in here? We know that there's that self-propelled gun. We know that there's a Zeppelin. Are these guys, like, attached to the Zeppelin? Oh, it's very framey. Okay. What do we have? I don't think they are. Maybe they are. That's a Nidhogg. Okay, so that Nidhogg needs to go.
Talk to me.
Our Centaur is the first one to move here, and I want the Centaur to continue to go after this fire starter. So we have very little ammo left here, but we are just going to continue to soften it up a bit. There we go. And we're going to continue to close in on the fire starter with the Centaur. That's the idea here. Next, we'll see what these Merrick units do. That Nidhogg does need to go. We need to shoot that thing down very swiftly. We've got some SAM missiles in our crossbow, and we can put our artillery into flak mode. So in theory, it should be reasonably fine. They're firing at the fire starter there, which is kind of useless, but okay. So this Nidhogg we should have good eyes on. That self-propelled gun is potentially a problem. We'll see. They're continuing to hit that Shiv. Seems okay. So this is a carrier Zeppelin with quad medium lasers. Interesting. I'm not sure what the capability of that thing is going to be. So that self-propelled gun moves up and does not fire. I like it. That's very, very good. So next is going to be this Zeppelin moving. And I guess we'll see if the helicopter moves with it, but I kind of don't think it will. Let's see what you've got. How fast is it? Where does it go? And what all does it do? These are all important questions. Now, this Nidhogg absolutely needs to go away. No doubt about that. That fire starter fires on our friend the Avatar, and we don't care about that, to be honest. That's completely fine. What we want at this point is to be able to move so that we can attack this Nidhogg. That is the goal right now. So we'll see what ends up happening here. This Zeppelin just didn't move.
Waiting for orders.
Okay. I'm thinking right now about minimum range for this Nidhogg. I absolutely want to start softening the Nidhogg here. So we're absolutely going to want to be in SAM mode. Target move +9. Okay. And we'll see what we can do. Eliminating this guy is a very, very high priority right now. So we can move up with our hoplite over to here.
Moving out.
Putting our thumper artillery at this point into flak mode. Pretty decent hit chance there. We can fire the LRM-15. We probably don't want to fire the ER medium laser, but beyond that, let's see what we've got. Okay, so we triggered the AMS there anyway, and we got some decent armor reduction on that Nidhogg. I don't want the Nidhogg to be able to... Oh, wow, there's not much armor in that turret. I don't want that Nidhogg to be able to actually let loose on us. So we'll position somewhere around here or so with our Apollo and just continue to close in on the Nidhogg. It's got a lot of evasive right now.
10-4.
But we're just going to continue focusing fire here. Chipping down that armor where we can. Definitely weakening the armor. Okay. Next up is our Trebuchet, which can position somewhere around here.
Move order received.
There we go. And we'll fire on the Nidhogg. Fire everything. I want this Nidhogg dead. That's just going to hit the armor. We did not get a lot of missiles in there, sadly. We'll see what this Apollo does. Absolutely nothing for the moment. Okay. Our Wraith can position up over here and wants to continue to fire on this Nidhogg. We probably don't fire the PPC just because of the heat.
Confirmed.
But otherwise, we can get some armor reduction on the Nidhogg. Next up is our Shadowhawk, which can position about here and continue to hit that Nidhogg. We need whatever damage that we can get on it. The Nidhogg is now unsettled, but those 9 evasive makes it difficult. We are getting close to being through that armor, though. The Black Knight can move up to here and continue to hit the Nidhogg. We'll hope that we get some decent hits here.
Roger that.
Mediocre at best. Okay. So the Nidhogg moves phase 18. That is before all of these units.
How can I help?
Our Centaur can't get into position over there, so sadly the Nidhogg is going to get to attack us. That is indeed very sad. We can position about here with our Centaur and continue to hit the fire starter, or try to, anyway. Failed our sensor roll. Okay. So a little bit of damage to that fire starter, but what we really want to do is start hitting it rear arc melee. That's the idea. So next up, we're going to have a Merrick unit move. We did manage to get a lot of that Nidhogg's armor gone. The Merricks are continuing to hit this Shiv, which is not ideal. I would really like to get this Nidhogg gone before it got to move. Unfortunately, we did not succeed in that. We were very close. Very, very close indeed. But the Nidhogg does get to move here, and it could theoretically do a lot of damage to like our Trebuchet or to our Wraith, potentially. We'll see what it does. The Shiv moves up and goes for that Trebuchet. Ow. Ow. So that Nidhogg could kill the Trebuchet here, I think. That was very painful. We'll see what the Nidhogg decides to do, but I expect a kill on that Trebuchet now. Oh, they're focusing it hard. Okay. Yep, we should be saying goodbye to the Trebuchet here, probably. The question is it repairable? I mean, we're planning on replacing it already with the Rifleman, so that's not the worst thing in the world. We'll see what the Nidhogg does here. This Avatar moves up and doesn't do anything of note. The Nidhogg is the dangerous one here at this point. But this is going to be, I think, the Firestarter or the SPG, one or the other. It's the Firestarter. Okay. It missed its flamers, so that's all good. So for the moment, that's reasonably fine. Next up is that Nidhogg. And this is going to be very, very painful for the Trebuchet. No doubt about it. It was very sad that we weren't able to shoot down the Nidhogg last round. We were close. We were super, super close. Wait a second. Who's attacking the Shadowhawk here?
Damage minimal.
That was not the Nidhogg. Was that the SPG? So this Orion is moving and firing at the SPG here. A little bit of damage into that armor. Now the Nidhogg moves, and I expect this to hit the Trebuchet really, really hard. Maybe we get lucky and the Trebuchet survives it, but I really don't think it will. The Trebuchet has always been very mediocre. So I don't mind losing it here. Yeah. It only fired the Gauss there. I mean, it took out the arm.
Weapon systems down.
That could have been a lot worse, to be honest. I'm okay with that. I thought all of the enemies had moved. Who's going to move this round? I guess that will be the SPG at this point. Ah, UAV here. Okay, gotcha. So that UAV is taken down. Nice. Next is going to be the Marksman SPG. So what's it going to do? Come up here and engage us over here? That would be kind of ideal. Okay, yep, hitting that Shadowhawk pretty hard there, but we get to move the Shadowhawk very soon. So that's fine. I'm not too concerned about that one.
Heavy damage.
At this point, our Hoplite is going to probably step back a little bit here and fire on this Nidhogg, still in flak mode.
Fire. Enemy 6.
Okay, triggering that AMS. And we did a lot of damage to the Nidhogg there. Unfortunately, it's in the rear arc, and I mean, that's still a fair amount of damage to that Nidhogg overall. So that seems okay. The Trebuchet is, at this point, going to back off over here.
On my way.
And we're going to fire on the Nidhogg with what we can. We actually didn't end up losing an LRM-15, remarkably. Just 2 medium lasers. So a little bit of damage into that Nidhogg. 17 missiles getting shot down by AMS is expected. And at this point, I want the Black Knight to position about here. We could fire on the Nidhogg. We could fire on the Shiv. Nidhogg is actually higher hit odds, so let's take it.
Engaging target.
Full miss. That is sad.
Failed to connect.
Very sad indeed. Next up is going to be our Wraith, and the Wraith is going to position somewhere around here. Its heat is up there, to be sure. And I think we'll just fire on the Nidhogg here. We might get shut down here, but I want to take this shot regardless. Structure exposure on the Nidhogg there.
Heat is cooking my internal structure.
But it didn't get shot down. Okay. So from here, I would like to position about here.
I'm there.
And fire on that Nidhogg. We should eliminate it here, I think.
All weapons on go.
Unfortunately, it's still up. The location where we ended up hitting was the turret. Okay. This thing has so little armor. It's so close to being gone. Just finish it. I don't want it to drop its bombs.
Locking in. All weapons.
VTOL propulsion crit, and it is still kicking here.
Scored a critical hit.
Unfortunate. Very unfortunate indeed. Our Shadowhawk can position over here for now
Wilco.
and continue to hit the Nidhogg. We need this thing gone. Our damage keeps spreading out horribly. That's a VTOL propulsion, double engine crits. We're just not getting what we need here. That Nidhogg is still alive for another round here. That's really, really unfortunate. Okay, we're going to hit the fire starter here. We have to get into rear arc and use our physical weapon.
Affirmative.
There we go. Okay, we do successfully hit our physical weapon there. A lot of internal damage with those lasers, but we have no missiles remaining. So that's a lot of damage to that fire starter. Unfortunately, with that Nidhogg still alive, we're going to take a beating here. And it's probably going to be into the Trebuchet. The Avatar moves up, is attacking that fire starter. There's a noise stuck on over here. Yeah, there definitely is a noise stuck on over there. Hopefully this is done very soon. That would be the takeaway there. That is an obnoxious noise, though. No doubt about that. So the Shiv is moving up and firing on the crossbow here. That's okay. I don't mind that.
Damn it.
They did get a health hit
wounded.
there. Or rather, a head hit there. That's unfortunate, but not the end of the world. We really need this Nidhogg gone. Like, really, really badly. Unfortunately, it's going to get to move soon. And I'm going to turn off that sound. Okay. We'll have to remember to turn that back up. But that'll do for now. Actually, our hoplite moves now. Hit this Nidhogg, please. Fire the chaff countermeasures, too. Not the ER medium laser, but everything else.
Firing.
Okay. We do manage to eliminate the Nidhogg at long last there. That's huge. The Nidhogg did not actually drop its bombs. It could have done so much more damage to us. We were unlucky in how long it took us to take it down. Our damage spread out over it in some awkward fashions, but ultimately it didn't actually fire its bombs, and that could have gone far worse for us. So at this point, I'd like to move our Wraith up over here. The Wraith has heat issues,
Position confirmed.
so we're not going to fire, like, the medium lasers here, I think. Yeah, just the PPC.
Got it, Commander.
And we actually missed that, I think. 75% hit odds. That's sad.
This heat's frying my internals.
Your heat's okay for now. So next up is going to be the self-propelled gun, which that is a pretty high priority, as well as the fire starter, which should die pretty soon, in theory. So the fire starter is going to get to move now. We are in behind it with the Centaur, though, and I don't expect that the fire starter is able to get free of us. Firing on the Shadowhawk there. Okay. For the moment, that's fine. Okay, next up is our Shadowhawk. I would like to move the Shadowhawk up over here to engage this SPG. So we're going to do exactly that. Start chipping down its armor a little bit as we close in. There we go. Next up is going to be the Firestarter, I think? No, it's the SPG. So the Orion is going to fire on the Carrier Zeppelin. That's getting a little bit of damage in there. We'll take it. What is next? The SPG, obviously. So the SPG is going to move, and it's going to fire on the Shadowhawk. It did not fire its... I'm not sure if that's a howitzer or what big gun that is. But it has a big gun that it chose not to fire there. So we'll absolutely take that. At this point, our Trebuchet should probably engage out over here. We want to protect the right side of it. So positioning it about here. And then we'll fire on the carrier here.
Engaging target.
That is a heat warning. We'll see how that goes.
Watch my heat.
Yeah, you're okay for the
I'm
time
taking
being.
damage.
So next up is our Apollo. Unfortunately, we're way too close to this Shiv, so I'm going to position the Apollo up over here. We're going to continue chipping down the armor on this Zeppelin.
Copy that, Commander.
Okay. Decent armor reduction there. How are we doing on the Zeppelin anyway? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So the crossbow is going to also move up over here and hit that with the SAM missiles. This is an overheat alert. I'm not going to fire this medium. Actually, neither of these medium lasers.
Copy.
Just the missiles here. Okay. So a lot of damage to that Zeppelin, but it definitely could be taking more.
Yes,
Next up is our Black Knight, and I want the Black Knight to move over and engage this
Affirmative.
Shiv. Unfortunately, the hit odds here are very low, but if we happen to get it where we need it, then that'll be fine. Otherwise, this thing, it doesn't have any additional AGMs, so it's not the biggest threat in the world if we don't get it. And we didn't. Okay. It is going to be a bit of a threat to our Trebuchet, but not really to anything else. So we'll see what else they end up throwing at us here. Our allies are still kind of not being very useful up over here, but honestly, that's... Actually, this is a decent angle to take this shot. No, that's a pretty good shot. I like that one. They're actually being useful there. So that'll be great. Next up, of course, is Phase 22. That will be the Shiv. Let's see what it does. It should go for the Trebuchet here. But it went for the crossbow. Okay, I don't think that's a good choice. I really don't. The crossbow is not in any danger right now. Cool. So that's absolutely great. Next up is our Centaur, of course, which is going to continue hitting the rear arc of this Firestarter. It probably dies here.
To hell with the weapons.
Okay, that is a leg destruction, so the Firestarter has very little way to get through this.
Hit, lad.
And there we go. Both leg destruction. Perfect.
Bottleneck down.
So that is one very dead Firestarter. Next up is going to be, if we can get panned over here, that's going to be this Zeppelin. Probably just moves up here, attacks the Trebuchet. That's what I would do anyway. Goes for the crossbow. I don't like this choice. I don't think that's good at all. And it's actually close in here, so our flak gun should be pretty good at that. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't think it should do that. Okay, so this Avatar is moving up. Unfortunately, our allies are not really doing much. What is this, a UAV? This is probably a UAV here. Phase 19? I don't see anything here that should be Phase 19. So I'm guessing it's launching a UAV. Yeah, there it is. Okay, for the time being, I'm not too concerned about the UAV. We are going to allow our allies to destroy that. Should be fine. They're continuing to focus the crossbow. Eventually that will be a problem, but that's not a right now sort of thing. So let's get positioned about here or so. I don't love what we've got going on here for hit odds. They're a little close to us for comfort. We could go for the UAV. But honestly, our hit odds are best on this marksman. So we'll soften it up a bit. There we go. Cool. And we've got an ally that's going to move now, and then an enemy. That'll be the SPG. So this Orion moves up and goes for that UAV. And it does shoot down the UAV. Perfect. That is absolutely great. Next up is going to be Phase 16 mover. That'll be that SPG. We'll see what it does here. Maybe shoots at the Shadowhawk again. It's been doing that. Yeah, absolutely. Large laser into the Shadowhawk. Sounds good.
Taking minimal damage.
So next up is going to be our Wraith. We can position the Wraith here. We could fire on the Shiv or on the Carrier Zeppelin. I would like to fire on the Carrier Zeppelin here. I'm not going to fire the PPC, but I want... I'm thinking about heat here. Maybe we just fire the SRM-6 and sink heat. It's not great, but we could do that. Unfortunately, we missed the entire SRM-6, but that's not shocking, really. So next up would be our Shadowhawk here, and that's going to step forward and fire on this Marksman SPG. I don't expect too much out of this either.
Firing.
But we are firing into the weakened flank here, so maybe.
Yes.
And actually, yeah, that destroys the SPG. I like it. That's phenomenal. So next up is going to be our Trebuchet. The Trebuchet can position here. This is going to be still, I think, within minimum range. Yeah, it is. We cannot fire this medium laser, but everything else... Honestly, I think we just brace the Trebuchet here. Heat is too high. We're in minimum range. So we can back off a little bit with our crossbow here. And just looking at these hit odds, the Carrier Zeppelin is the way to go here. Heat is still a concern, but let's see what we get done here.
I'm starting to cook.
The answer is not much. Once again, our damage is all spreading out, but that's not shocking. We're going to step in with our Black Knight here and see if we can't shoot down this Zeppelin. Heat is probably a concern here as well, but let's see what we got. Oh, we hit one laser there. That did not go well. That was on like 50% hit odds. That was sad. We can bring our hoplite up over this way and continue to fire our flak gun up here. And that's absolutely something that we want to do.
Copy that.
Structure exposure, and the Zeppelin is down.
Target neutralized.
I love it.
This heat.
Okay, so all that's left now is this single helicopter. Let's head on over this direction. We're not really going to get too much done here, but let's just head on through the fire and sprint on over. So all that's left now is this Shiv. And the Avatar is firing on the Shiv here. Ooh, and it takes it down. Okay, so we are done. That definitely took a bit, no doubt about it. We're still struggling a bit with those SAMs. Yeah, the targets are down and we made it out. That is indeed what matters, Darius. And honestly, we didn't take that much damage either. We could have taken a lot more there. They failed to fire some of their big weapons early on, and they never used their bombs. So the heavy mechs that had things like Gauss rifles, they didn't really turn them on us. We managed to get out of that pretty scot-free. Let's see what we get from salvage. And repairs are going to be a bit spicy, particularly for the trebuchet. But we're planning on replacing the trebuchet with the rifleman anyway, so that should be absolutely okay. 1.7 million C-bills, not bad. We did take some damage, no doubt about it. And we could grab that SPG. What weaponry does it have? Sniper artillery? I would not mind that. We could certainly go for something like that. Or the Nidhogg. Honestly, there is the sniper artillery in here. Having that on a vehicle is probably better than having it on a mech. Because it can't get knocked down, right? We're not going to have enough to be able to salvage any of these mechs, so let's just see what we get out of this. Sniper artillery, of course, is good. I don't think we have any ammo for it, so there's that. I did want this SPG part here, so that's absolutely fine. Let's get rid of all this standard stuff. Gauss ammo. Yeah, it's okay. Not phenomenal, but it's okay. So let's get loaded in here. I'm expecting the repairs for this to come in somewhere around, like, I'm thinking 150. Somewhere around 150,000 C-bills. That does not include the actual repairs to the trebuchet. That is what Yang's estimate here will be. And we'll have to get the trebuchet repaired as well. Just as a backup mech. So that'll be fine for now. Let's get Yang's estimate here. What do you got, Yang? Any moment now, Yang. You can do it. Okay, here we go. I'm expecting like 150. 200. Okay, that's not bad. That's pretty close. 29 days for the repairs. Yep, get that started. We need to get the trebuchet repaired, but that shouldn't be a big deal. So the trebuchet is going to be this one here. We'll have to stop work because Yang won't properly refit this. We'll have to put the arm back on. So we'll repair that. The 2 medium lasers go in here. And then we strip the armor and max the armor. Something like this. This is not a good mech. We'll get that going. It's a backup mech. I'm not too concerned about getting it done quickly. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kintogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.